Good day of the week, listeners. It's ya boy Crispy, and you are tuned in to Final Thoughts Media Podcast Edition. So open your ears and have a great day on purpose. Alrighty, welcome back to Final Thoughts Media Podcast Edition. As I forget literally every episode I have ever created, well, maybe not everyone, but most of them, I always forget to tell you guys, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. So I'm going to tell you at the beginning, subscribe, comment, let me know what you guys think. Share this. Come on, you guys. We've got 15 viewers. We had 25 views this week. And while I am happy and loving the fact that we had those views and all those people, let's get this ball rolling. Alright, so what happened this week? I helped a guy out on the road today. And, it's kind of interesting how people don't really expect you to come and help, so they're really surprised, yet they're mad if you don't come and help. So the guy was like, from New York, and if anybody was there, they wouldn't have helped me. I'm like, yeah, probably because everyone thinks they're gonna get robbed. And so, that was a whole thing. Also learn when people are BSing you. So the guy said he had worked on cars, and he does that for a living. Now, if you work on cars for a living, how do you not know that the tire iron for your tire is not the right tire iron? I'm just saying. Like, it didn't come with the car, obviously. But, whatever. Either way, helped the guy out. And, it made me feel good. Made me feel like a good day. Also, happy belated Father's Day to all my father listeners out there. Hope you guys had a good one. Hope your kids treated you well. Hope your wives or partners or whatever treated you nicer. You know how it goes. Honestly, though, I really wanted to come out here and say thank you to all the fathers, all the stepfathers, all the step-in fathers, all of the figures of men that are out here. Because this is some hard times. And we need some strong men out here to show these younger children how the world works, how to act in the world, and how to be a better part of society, not just the statistic. So, getting out of that somber section, we are reviewing today Black Sands, The Seven Kingdoms, Episode 2. It is a Black Sand Entertainment. It is actually the first of its 2020 releases, and it is 13 minutes and 26 seconds long. It is by Black Sand Entertainment, and the cast is still unknown. If you guys can find the cast, please send it to me. Comment, hint, comment, and let me know who actually does the voice acting, so that way I can put it on here. And yeah, so let's see. The movie description goes, for 1,000 years, the world has been ruled by ancient gods. Humanity was on the verge of annihilation until the arrival of the first god killer, Ra. I am his grandson and the heir to the throne of Kemet. He took it upon himself to forge me into a ruthless god killer as well, because the ancient gods still rule most of this world. Every day he pushed me to the brink of death, but the time for training is finally over. Reunited with my kin, now it is time that I forge my own path forward. I will be the greatest pharaoh that ever lived. I am Asar. Alright, so this is The second episode, it is called Rumble in Kerma. We start out with Asar still being stubborn, and the boys will be boys moment is still continuing. Um, we see that Bess is getting ready for the fight, and he starts beating his drum, and I love that. I love that his powers are based on sound, and the drum riles him up. Is that's not how it goes, but that's what's in my head right now. Kind of reminds me of marching band and how we would get the crowd pumped up and the team hyped and everyone just going yeah, yeah, just kind of gladiator style. Kill them, kill the other team, that type of thing. So then they fight, and Asar immediately learns a valuable lesson that he is not the strongest person alive. There's always someone that will be better than you. During a flashback, his father comes in with wisdom. You may be bested, but if you prepare for the next battle you face, it will end differently. And that doesn't mean exactly that he will win. And I like the fact that was said. Doesn't mean that he will win, but it means that he was prepared and can do better, and it won't be the same mistakes. So learn from your mistakes. The father also, man, that man has a fade that is so on point. Like, he could probably kill gods with it. I'm telling you, that thing is sharp. I don't know how better to explain it. It is just woo. I wish I could have that. I also got my fresh haircut, if you haven't noticed, and I look gorgeous, handsome, beautiful. Yeah, I'm feeling myself. What you gonna do about it? Either way. Then comes in grandfather, and he is from a whole different generation. Honestly, I'm glad I did this for kind of my Father's Day video, because it shows it reminds me of me, my father, and my grandfather, and the differences between us, and how they say there's a difference between us and everything. Let me continue with this thought though. The father is kind, probably because he grew up in a time of peace and prosperity and time and that. While again, he still may have had to fight. It wasn't like the grandfather. And the grandfather, he slaps Asar right across the room, telling him that he's weak and that pharaohs don't lose. Pharaohs are perfect, and he has no pity for them. He says, if you do not rise to my standards, I will get rid of you myself, the way that my father did. And this man is intense personified. Like, I'm going back to that statement that I was saying. Me personally, I don't like to work outside. I don't know many people that do. That's a lie. I know a lot of people that like to work outside. I'm just not one of them. But I don't like to work outside. I can do it, but I don't like to. Now, I can do everything that my dad can, but my dad actually enjoys it, so he does it better. Now, my dad is always like, oh, you don't understand, the hard days work and picking cucumbers and, picking peanuts and getting cotton, stuff like that. I'm like, I truly don't. And I thank God I did not grow up in a time like that. My grandfather, however, is, Lord knows how old that man is, and he is still working. He doesn't stop working. He is just a workaholic. He loves to work because he comes from a generation of can do and will do, and you have no choice but to do. And so he's like, every generation after him is just lazy. I'm like, no, we just have a different way of viewing things. And so this is kind of that type of thing where Asar is still strong and he is growing. His father is already cemented and is strong but is kind. And again, he's trying to instill that into his son, and his son takes after that a little bit, but his grandfather, he takes after a lot, and his grandfather is just harsh. He's a harsh, intense man. Just Again, you slap a literal child across the room and say, get good. I'm like, yo, no, that's not how this works. All right. Let's get back to the breakdown. Again, Bez's power is sound and it is deadly. I mean, you see him kind of thunderclap like Hulk, and do a lot of what I would consider kind of like wind movements. Avatar, greatest show ever. Fight me. A lot of wind movements, and it was harsh. Again, like he did a sound attack, and this sound attack almost deafened Asar to the point where he couldn't move. And again, if you've ever been in a concert, and science actually shows, at some point, if you get above such a decibel, you can not only lose your hearing but could possibly die. So this is interesting. And then we finally see Asar's power, and it's some crazy type of soul power. I don't really understand it, so I'm not going to try and explain it, but go watch it. Go watch it, and then, if you can explain it, leave a comment. So then, after their fight, the collateral damage that the boys did was crazy, and they fell from the sky, and Asar hit one of the peasants' carts. And honestly, if they were peasants, they probably wouldn't have these powers in the first place. But then on the second part, they probably would have been killed by anyone higher because of wrecking so much. But it is nice, and again, this kind of goes into how being nice to people and stuff like that. It's nice to see that even though the merchant had a lot of damage done to his stuff, he was still willing to help, even though he didn't know Asar's origins. He's just like, hey, you're a kid, and those wounds don't seem like they're from you. They look like you were in a fight. Hey, let me help you out. And, that's nice. Then the mother comes. It sounds bad, but it's not. It's just that I'm conflicted right now because she is wearing a garb of the true goddesses, and I don't know how to feel, either scared or aroused. These are the questions. It looks amazing, and I'm just like, ooh, this is a strong woman. And like her, I there's no sexist thing to say, because I kind of feel like if I were to say anything, she would come through the screen and kind of just slap me. Like, no. And again, we learned that Asar's father only married in, and that his mother is actually the child of Ra, his grandfather. And honestly, it makes sense on how she carries herself. Like I said, she's really tough, and she has that attitude, and she has that respect and everything else that I guarantee her father instilled in her, just not as harsh. I would assume, again, because of the culture and everything else, that even though you are a child of Ra's, you're still a woman, and that type of thing. But again, can't make assumptions because she is crazy powerful. Let's see. After that, the grandfather comes to witness the meeting. The pharaoh obviously comes to witness the meeting between the two nations, and he looks at Asar and is like, "Did you win this battle this time?" Because the last time he lost, and while his father was nice, he was cruel, all that other stuff. And his mother is like, "Yes, father, he has won the battle." And all he said was good and left. That must have made Asar feel so happy to get that accolade, because I can only imagine what would have happened if he would have lost. So we get to the just about the end of the episode, and we see that even though Asar's being molded for the throne, as long as he has his siblings beside him, he will always have help and be grounded. because, his brother was telling him some very wise things at the end of the episode. And it's surprising how, mature these kids are. And, I really like it. Again, Asar is going to be grounded, and, he's going to be a good pharaoh, honestly. And then we have main story addition, and we see that one of the Titans is planning something, and it's really, really big. He's like, I gave you, he said to his underling, I gave you this mark so that way you can do my bidding, and, it's time to start the plan. I'm like, ooh, suspicious. So that was the end of the episode, and don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious. I'm very suspicious, I'm very suspicious. Oh man, if my boss ever actually listens to this, he'll say something probably. Either way, so final thoughts on this episode. It was a continuation. It was short, and I'm kind of wishing that it was a little bit longer, but I'm not going to complain on it. It was good. Whatchamacallit. The artistry was great. Like I said, seeing the garbs and everything, not just of the mother, but also of everybody else. It's really interesting to see that it might be some type of historical. It might not be, but we don't know. And then, like I said, the story itself is progressing along. So what would I give it? I would give it probably an 8 out of 10. Why? Again, those last 2 points, honestly, because it was short. That's really it. Because I'm not mad at short things. I'm just like, I'd rather it be just a little longer, a little bit more expanded. And you know what? I have to recant that. I would give it a 9 because they did do a lot with the flashbacks, and I'm glad that while it was all about the fight, like the aftermath of the fight was more important, and also they explained a lot of how Asar was, trained and why he is the way he is, and I appreciate that. So I'll give it a 9 out of 10. And that's my final thoughts. I'm also thinking about doing a movie review for Wish Dragon. I'm gonna see how it does. I'm gonna put it out hopefully here soon. I'm gonna try, and we're gonna see how it works. So be ready for that. Well, that about does it for this episode. This is Chris B signing off. You can find me on Instagram at Final Thoughts Media, or go to my YouTube channel, Final Thoughts Media. Catch you guys on the next episode, and have a great day.